Good afternoon, students. Today we will start the new chapter, independent sets and cliques. So here, this is unit 4, independent sets and cliques. So let us start. Here we are having the definition of independent sets. What is an independent set? Let us see. A subset S of V means the set of vertices is called an independent set of G. G means the graph if no two vertices of S are adjacent in G. Means the set we are taking means the subset S. It should not be it should contain only vertices which are not adjacent. Okay. So an independent set is maximum if G has no independent set other than S, that is S dash, with modulus of S dash greater than modulus of S. That means we should not get another independent set whose cardinality is more than the maximum set. Means it should be the set which contains the maximum number of vertices which are not adjacent in G. Consider this graph. Here we are having 6 vertices A, B, C, D, E and F and this type of edges. Now you see, here we are having some, you see that example. So in that graph we gave the only set, only this F alone is also an independent set, and B and E, the vertices B and E is also an independent set, but this is the maximum independent set because it contains the maximum number of elements. We can't get any more maximum independent set which has elements more than this. Yes, then the next one is covering. A subset K of V such that the next one is covering. So, a subset K of V such that every edge of G has at least one endpoint in K is called the covering of G. Means we are having another set of vertices. That set should have at least one end point of each edge so that it looks like a cover. So this is a covering. You can see some example for that same graph. Here also same graph. Let us see. We can have the whole set A, B, C, D, E and F, all the vertices is also a covering of G, and at the same time A, C, E, F is also a covering, but this is a minimum covering. Now we are having the set one theorem, first theorem in this unit connecting independent sets and coverings. We are not talking about maximum independent set or minimum covering. We are talking about just independent sets and coverings of G. What is the statement? You see, a set S subset of V is an independent set of G if and only if V minus S is a covering of G. That means if S is an independent set, then V minus S is a covering. Similarly, vice versa. If S is a covering, then S minus V minus S is a independent set. Okay. So you now consider, we are starting that proof. S is an independent set of G. Then according to that definition, we have no two vertices are adjacent in G. Okay. Means independent set means none of the vertices are adjacent to each other. So from the definition we are having, means independent, S is an independent set we have given, so we have taken. So no two vertices are adjacent in G. That means since the vertices are not adjacent, no edges of G has both ends in S because the sets are not adjacent. We don't have adjacent vertices, so the both ends of the edge will not be in the set S. So from that we are having, this is if and only if each edge has at least one end V minus n. Since we are not having both the sides, we are having at least one end. That means, so at least one end in V minus S we are having. Understood? That is S and this is V minus S. So this is if and only if V minus is a covering of G. So from the definition of covering, V minus S is having at least one edge in that set. So this is a covering. So if S is a subset, if F is an independent set, we are having, that's if and only if no two vertices are adjacent in G, and if and only if no edges of G has both ends in S, and that is if and only if each edge has at least one end point in V minus S, that is if and only if V minus S is a covering of G. Hence the theorem is proved. Okay. Now we are going to the next definition. The number of vertices in a maximum independent set of G is called the independent number of G and is denoted by alpha of G. Understood? What is the definition? The maximum independent set we are having one set means the number of elements in that set is known as independent number of G and is also denoted by alpha of G. Then the next one, the number of vertices in a minimum covering of G is the covering number of G and is denoted by beta of G. So alpha of G means independent, the number of elements in the maximum independent set, and it is known as independent number, and beta of G means the number of elements in the minimum covering and it is denoted by beta of G. Now we are having the next corollary, alpha plus beta equal to nu. Nu means number of elements in the vertices set. Now consider, let S be a maximum independent set and K be a covering of G. So S is a maximum independent set means number of elements, that is mod S equal to alpha, and K is a minimum covering. So number of elements in K equal to beta. That is minimum covering. So by previous theorem we are having S is an independent set means we are not considering as maximum independent set, let it be a independent set. Therefore V minus S is a covering of G. Similarly V minus K will be a covering. V minus K will be a independent set of G. Since K is the minimum covering, modulus of K will be less than or equal to K minus S because K is the minimum covering set. So it will be less than any covering because S is an independent set implies V minus S is an independent set. It's not a minimum set. So minimum or a maximum, nothing is given. So it's as it is a set, but K is a minimum covering, hence mod K less than or equal to V minus S because minimum covering will have the less number of elements when compared with any other covering. So beta will be less than or equal to V nu minus alpha because V means number of elements is nu and in S we are having alpha elements, so this is nu minus alpha. Therefore taking this alpha to the other side we are getting alpha plus beta will be less than or equal to nu. First point. Now since S is maximum independent set, any other independent set will have number of elements less than that. Now K is a minimum covering, so V minus K is an independent set, but S is a maximum independent set. Hence, the number of elements in S will be greater than any other independent set. So, modulus of V minus K will be less than or equal to S, modulus of S. Now, what is the number of elements in V minus K? That is, the total elements in the vertical set is nu and elements in K is beta. So, number of elements V minus K equal to nu minus beta, and this is less than or equal to modulus of S. Modulus of S is number of elements in S, that maximum independence, that is alpha. So, taking beta this side, alpha is nu is less than or equal to alpha plus beta. So, already we had alpha plus beta less than or equal to nu. Now, we are having nu less than or equal to alpha plus beta. So, from 1 and 2 we are getting alpha plus beta equal to nu. Hence, the theorem is proved. That's all for today.